Well, you say meaningless. I mean, there's been reports that it could have been as many as 24 aircraft hit, each valued at $100 million. That's not meaningless. And I would secondly say the more significant aspect of it was humiliating for Putin, who would never have seen this coming, must have been deeply shocked at the scale of the raid and how successful it was. So notwithstanding the fact that you're probably right, it doesn't really change the bigger picture of the war, but it certainly was a humiliating blow to Putin. I mean, that surely we can agree on.
I'm sure it was humiliating, but humiliation means virtually nothing in how this war turns out. You can humiliate Putin every day of the week, and it's not going to have any effect on the battlefield. And what happens on the battlefield is what matters here.
What is happening on the battlefield in your estimation? People say Ukraine, through this drone attack, is showing that it has the resolve and indeed the technical expertise to potentially repel Russia for a lot longer than people thought. Others think that the scale of Russia's attacks since that drone attack suggest they're going to move very aggressively now through the summer to try and exploit the better weather conditions and to really get a grip of this war. What's your assessment?
Well, I think if you look at what's happening on the battlefield, the Russians are gaining more and more territory every day, and they're destroying more and more Ukrainian forces. And if you look at the underlying balance of power, it's clear, even from Western sources, that the Ukrainians are in really deep trouble. The Royal United Services Institute in London put out a study in February of this year. And if you look at the numbers carefully, it's quite clear that the Ukrainians are outnumbered at least 3-1, maybe 3.5-1 on the front lines. If you look at the amount of artillery on both sides, you look at the number of drones on both sides, and you take into account the fact that the Russians have these smart bombs that are doing massive amounts of destruction to frontline forces on the Ukrainian side, it's hard to imagine how the Russians don't win this war. It may take them longer than some people think is the case, but nevertheless, the Russians are going to prevail in the end. And you want to remember, Piers, at the same time, the Trump administration is basically withdrawing its support for Ukraine. So the long-term future for Ukraine is very bleak.
What does victory look like to Russia? What are they actually trying to achieve here? Some think they're making a play now to take over the whole of Ukraine. Others think they may even expand.